Hi, I'm Sherisa and I channel Archangel Michael.
And I'm Andrea, and I ask him all the questions.
And this is Divine Mic Drop.
Welcome,
Um,
welcome.
Yay.
Yay. Okay, so you and I are in a conversation that we're going to bring to this right here so that we can share it with everybody, which is wanting to ask Michael to bring us back to the basics, bring us back to the simplest form of these teachings where we can um, implement the advice and use it and do what they're telling us to do in order to shift ourselves and our beliefs and our thought patterns and our perspectives in order to get the money. Okay, and I want him to address that too, that like even that, even saying like if I change my belief I'll have money, if I have money I'll feel better, get to all of that for us as humans. Because
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
once we talk this much about this stuff, we feel like we get it. We feel like we understand it. And yet we all sort of stand there and say, where's the thing?
yeah, yeah. Well, I think we stand there and say, where's the thing? But also, I know for me, I start to doubt it when I feel like I've done everything I can and I'm really trying to apply these principles, but I don't see the results in my life. But then Michael will clarify for me, oh, there are DNA shifts happening in your body, and your body needs time to actually grow to meet the belief system so it can hold the vibration so that it can resonate out there and it can tract it in. And I'm not sure that everyone is, I mean, has Michael in their head saying, no, no, keep at it. You're still on the right path, but we think we've done everything. Is this really working for us? So having him explain a little bit more the nuances of that, I think would help.
So that what you just said, which comes up, that comes up a lot in the Abraham teachings. Abraham uses the analogy between Phoenix and Yuma.
Yeah.
You start to move toward the thing that you want the most, but then because you don't see it in the physical form, you get frustrated and you start to move back. And I'd like him to address that too, of saying those frustrating moments where you go, I've been so happy for so long and still my thing's not here. What do you do with that moment to,
Yeah.
so that you're not telling yourself you can't ever have those moments or you're going backwards.
Yeah.
Or if you have those moments, you're not doing what you've been told to do. So let's get into
Yeah.
all that today. Okay.
All right. Sound good.
Hey,
Okay.
um,
Shall I
I
bring him in?
I just was gonna say, are you ready for me to bring him in? I am ready for you to bring him in.
Ooh, Andrea, who knows
Oh,
what
wait
could
a minute.
happen in the future?
I don't think so. Let's stick with you.
Many gifts. Andrea has many gifts. Andrea has many gifts. And we can talk about that too. We can talk about that. And one of the main gifts, Andrea, that you're bringing not only to this channel, but to all the people around you is that connection to the higher self. You may have made that connection from your relationship with this human and with me, but you've hit it. You are bringing in your higher self, and that higher self is giving you direct wisdom, and that's what's going to change the world. The more people who are connected like that, Earth will evolve. The other gifts, like being able to channel me, that are unique to the different agreements that souls have made as they come through, are very different from all people. But what you've reached, that's available to everyone, and you are an example of that. And that's very important.
Well, I really appreciate you saying that. And I'd also like to ask you the question as I go about my day. And I think to myself, the most important thing you can do is connect into your higher self. And so,
Yes.
therefore, do that in whichever way that you can. And then I start to have conversations with that thing. And I have to wonder how you I know it's a subtler voice than a voice with words and a mouth and
Yes.
speaking and auditory. I know it's a subtler voice. How do we hear it better, more clearer, more consistently?
Yes, yes, yes. So when you are connecting in with your higher self and you've got a lot of anxiety in your life or sadness in your life or worries in your life or all of these heavy energies, think of it as the light vibration is very light and these other energies are very heavy and they cloud the connection between you and your higher self. So your higher self is trying to get through, but it's like looking through a fog. They can see you, he, she can see you, but can't communicate through the frog, through the fog. And so when the in the very beginning, that's why we like the image or analogy of tap on the domino. Each time you just worry a little bit less, more light can come through and more ability to connect. And so each time you're doing that, even though it feels so simple, or like I have these big challenges in my life and you want me to just think positively, but each time you're gentle with yourself and loving with yourself, you're clearing some of that fog. And then little bits and pieces can start to come through. Now, with you and with this human, you've been on this path for a while. And so you do get sentences or pictures or concepts. But in the beginning, it might be a number sequence on the clock. In the beginning, it might be a butterfly that lands near your shoulder. In the beginning, your higher self is just trying to get through the fog in any way that they can to be able to say, we're here, we're with you, we're doing this together. So it's that's why we lean away from a protocol because every person's fog is a little bit different. And even with this human who's very, very connected to her higher self, which is why these other gifts of hers come through, and she's like, I didn't know I could do that because her higher self is clear in that pathway. And when she starts to worry about things, when she starts to worry about her parents aging or the health of her sister, or what happens when I leave this psychology contract to do channeling full time, are they going to be okay? She can cloud up her stuff really, really fast. But because it's more open, she can waft it away faster as well. But in the beginning, those clouds are very thick because they are years of worries and sometimes lifetimes and generations of worries. So when you're starting to clear, that's where it goes into this concept of the time gap or not trying to tie into these spiritual principles as action sequences. I did this, I wait, I get this. It takes about 3 months. I should be able to have this in September. It's not like that because every person's clouds are different and they're different on different topics. You could be clearer at a certain time of day. You could be clearer on a certain topic than you are on others. So that tapping on the domino and a little bit more love isn't just about calming the central nervous system, which it does. It's not about just remembering your divinity, which it does. It's actually physically cleaning up because the clouds are real. They're not just a concept. They're an energy that emanates from you from the heavy energy, just like a sound emanates from you.
Wow.
You're seeing?
Yeah, that's pretty helpful, that last thing you just said, that it's a real physical thing, that's tricky business in this world of what's real and what's not real, what's
Yeah.
measurable, what's not measurable. But sound is one of those things that is a real measurable thing.
Yes.
If that's
Yes.
the analogy to it, that's helpful to know that it's physically you're physically tapping on the domino, it's physically shifting out that energy.
Exactly. And so when you combine, and this is that sort of concept of going back to some of the basics that aren't basic, like they if they were more basic for everyone, we would have less conflict in the world and less war and things like that. But they are core. Maybe we call them core more than basic. But in the beginning, with all those clouds and everything, the things that are the heaviest in that connection we call it higher self. So we will pretend here it also comes from inside your heart. So if it's inner self, it doesn't have a location. It is whatever concept helps you. Yes. So imagine these clouds, but if it's a concept or a belief that you've held for a lifetime, that is more like a boulder than just a cloud. It's got density to it. It's a bass note. You're seeing?
Yeah, sorry, I don't know why that cracks me up, but that's hilarious. Yeah, it's a bass note. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
And
really good.
so in the beginning, when you're taking apart or teasing apart, oh, that's an unhelpful belief, you're taking apart that boulder. And then it gets a little bit more dissipating. We don't know if that's a word, but you are knowing what
I
that.
get it. Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Yes, and so it takes time. And then when you waffle, when you're like, I'm doing this, look at me. That's the old belief system. It's like imagine this boulder that connects out to like 1,000 pieces and then comes back into a solid piece, connects out into a solid pieces until just like a fibroid or a tumor can be dissolved within the body through vibration, it eventually dissipates to where it's no longer a heavy energy. And you're now creating space. You are seeing the space, and the higher self can go, I can get through that path, just like water.
Hmm.
I can find my way through. And then you can start to hear some messages or see a visual or get an instinct. So when we say things which sound simple, like go be playful, or we tell this human to she will let this post, we think, don't worry about your sister's health, go to Italy and enjoy your sister, right? To shift towards the things that are lighter in energy, that's so that those things don't reconglomerate together. We are making lots of words up today.
Shakespeare made up a lot of words too, so you're just basically you're a writer.
You're keeping it so that there's separation so the light can come through, and then as the light starts to come through, it literally can start to dissolve. That energy, just like water coming across a boulder, can eventually make the boulder smaller and smaller.
Hmm.
Then your higher self coming through. So that's what's happening on a physical level, which is why when you say I changed the belief, but I've been waiting and it's not here, we're saying you are not seeing all the progress you have made. You're not seeing the fact that you have a little bit more energy and don't have as much of your afternoon slump because you're getting more of your source energy on a day-to-day basis is the result of you not being angry at men in traffic. We are using her stuff.
So specific.
It
Okay.
is all connected.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yes.
that's great. Well, it's funny. I had an experience recently where I was made aware of an old belief being replaced by a new belief simply by the fact that that conversation typically makes me feel a certain way, and that conversation didn't make me feel that way. I felt a different way, and I was also surprised by the fact that that felt like enough to me. Not to say that I don't want the thing that that new belief is going to create. That still is true. I still do want that thing.
Yes.
But in the moment that I went, oh, that was great that that felt so neutral to me,
Yes.
made me realize that I shifted the belief. Now, something that I was telling Sherisa about earlier today is that I was sort of looking out at the landscape and saying, name all the things that you want, name all the things. And I started to name all the things that I wanted. And then I thought, isn't it interesting to think the only thing that is in the way of that is a belief. And so can you believe in those things? And that's where I stop and go, I mean, I feel like I can, but it feels hard. But that is in and of itself a belief. And if you could just simply go, it's possible that believing in all those things is something that you're well on your way toward, and enjoy
Yes.
the ride
Yes.
instead of, gosh, it would seem hard to believe that you could achieve this thing that feels like a big thing to achieve, and yet millions of people are out there achieving it all day without even thinking about it.
Yes, yes, yes. So we are loving this. We are loving this. We would offer that the the believing this is because that's one step to getting to a feeling. So your beliefs are the thing that's easy for us to work with, but it's the belief that births the feeling that then is the vibration that then is either cloud or sunshine, right?
Hmm.
And in order to have more sunshine where light can come through and your higher self can come through instead of more clouds, it's the feeling that needs to be lighter, but the belief systems are birthing the feelings. So when you are looking at the things that you want, and this is to very much quote the Abraham Hicks material, which we adore, is you want it because you believe that you will feel better in the having of it.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I want a gig that brings in enough money where I can own a farm. We are talking about Andrea's life.
Right, everybody knows that's what I want. I'm fine admitting that. I want a farm, okay? My Wisconsin eventually got me.
Yes, yes. And so the belief of I can expand how much money I bring in through my career so that I can have this farm and all of that. But the having of the farm, what is the feeling that having the farm brings? We are asking.
I wouldn't expect this word, but this is the word that came, and the word was satiation. Like I feel satiated by,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It's peace.
Peace, yeah, yeah.
It's peace. And in LA, not a lot of peace sometimes in the day-to-day activities in LA. The farm represents peace.
Mm.
When you realize and know that it's not necessarily just expanding, I believe I can have my farm, which is a good route to get there. But what you're really expanding is I can have access to all the peace I want at any moment.
That's awesome, and I like this a lot. And I'm asking you this question. It's an optimal practice maybe for us as humans to practice feeling, to
Yes.
get into our gut and go, how hard can it be to feel a certain way in this moment where let's say it's not a very charged moment. You know, you're not upset about anything, you're not worried about anything, you're relatively neutral already. You might say to yourself, practice it, try to feel excited, try to feel
Yeah.
joy, try to feel, just see what happens.
Yes. And sometimes on the pathway there, you can't access joy and peace because that's not how you're feeling. So
Hmm.
you're allowing all the feelings to flow until it gets to the feelings that are the ones that you want.
Hmm.
Because you can't get to peace if you're feeling anger unless the anger has had an opportunity to exit.
Wow.
Now, remember that these feelings are actual things.
Hmm.
They're vibrations exiting the body. And so if you're like, I am peace, but the anger has not had a chance to exit, you're really cultivating frustration, determination, but also anger. And so allowing it to anger and know, I am predominantly love. So a little anger, it is like you're farting out anger and let it go.
There's the name of the book. Okay. Farting out anger. Okay, well, look, I think that's a really great place to wrap this one up. And unless there's anything else you want to add to it and share with us before we wrap this segment.
We would just offer gentle and playfulness. Like you came here to experience the full spectrum. So when you experience the things that are on the pathway to peace and you judge them, you anchor yourself into the feeling you do not want. So if on your pathway to your farm, you experience frustration and then you are frustrated with the frustration, you are anchoring into frustration. So when you experience the frustration, look at me being human. I know there's peace at the end of this. Allow it to exit, and then refocus on, I believe my farm is there for me now, and I know I have peace in me now.
That's really helpful. I really appreciate you getting that piece of it for us because that is the part that I think is tricky in the time gap saying, I've done it, I've done it, I've done it, where's my stuff? It's like, I've done it, I've done it, I've done it, where's my stuff? It's okay that you're feeling frustrated with where's my stuff. Let the frustration work its way through and back to joy you go and all is well. Wow, that's really helpful. Okay. Thank you.
Much love.
Much love.
Much love. Yes.
Thank
Yes.
you.
I like
Okay.
that.
That was a pretty good one.
Yeah.
We give our
Yeah.
own reviews. 4.5. I'm gonna call it four. No, no, no. Definitely five. Yeah.
I want 5 stars.
Oh, fine. Fine. You angels. He's like, where's my stuff?
Michelin level channeling.
That's true, actually. Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, you
I think
came
that's a good
back.
place to end.
You came back. Oh my gosh. All right. Well,
All right.
Do you have anything to postmortem that, or do you feel good?
No, I feel good. I
Okay.
feel good. Oh, I would offer because I heard him say something while I was channeling because I'm noticing that the video goes in and out. He told me anytime we record during Mercury's retrograde, my vibration is and his vibration and the internet, they're all a little wonky together. So to because I was thinking I need to call Spectrum this and that. He said that's why it only happens here and not in your psychology stuff. So don't worry about it.
Oh, all right. So hear
So,
that.
readers, look at how powerful we are.
It's just an angel. It's not spectrum, but still lodge a complaint.
All
Okay.
right, we'll see everyone next week.
Okay.